We're actually going live now, but you go ahead and grab some water if you want. And we are live, guys. Dane is about to rejoin us here. He's getting some bottle of water. We got George here. What's going on? What's going on, Mike? We got Mike in the chat room. Which I'm sure some other people will be joining us here shortly after they leave class chat. What watch you wearing tonight, George?
I have the sumo.
Which one?
The sumo.
Okay, nice. What about you, Dane? What you wearing?
Well, Mr. Zelos cannot come to a live show without wearing a Zelos. And I'm wearing my newest Zelos, my Damascus swordfish with the black sand face.
Nice.
1 of 30.
Nice. We got Blue Shirt Buddha, Bruce. Hey, Bruce. We got the Slats Man coming from the Clive stream. Howdy from Texas, Clive. What's going on, Clive? The Urban Country. How you doing, buddy? I am wearing the G-Shock on metal, just relaxing around my house. Gave the Rolex a little bit of a break again. Of course, I've been wearing that Rolex like crazy, guys. We got Bobby Legs in here. What's up, Bobby? But what's everybody in the chat wearing, watch-wise? Nick J and Orange Hand. Got no real topic, guys. Just figured we'd just come on and kind of BS about watches. You guys got anything on your radar? Or incoming?
I don't have any. I last watch. God, I can't. Oh, I mean, my Seamaster's still getting fixed, but I haven't even gotten any estimate as to when I'm getting it back. So, that was the last watch I bought. So it's gonna be a while for me.
Yeah, I just traded mine in for that Omega, which I don't know. I'm kind of, or my Omega for the Rolex, excuse me. But for those of you that I hadn't seen, I just got, which is vintage, and for a smaller size, it wears really well. Which both of you guys have seen pictures of that.
Yeah.
It's a 34, but it wears more closer to, like, you remember the Orient I just had in the TriStar, the 38. It wears closer to that. And surprisingly, it's just freshly serviced too. So I feel like I got a decent deal on it, and I've been kind of wanting a Rolex for a little while. It's one that's kind of under the radar right now. Like, you don't see him as much as you see, everything else. What about you, Dane? You got anything on the radar?
Yeah, well, I'm waiting on the Halo Klein that I got from my Iconic. On the Kickstarter, there's been something going on with Ivan, and it's a little delayed, but that's the only one that's out there that's incoming. I don't have any plans right now to buy anything for the rest of the year. Obviously, that could change if I see something, but right now, I spent a lot on this one. I bought a lot of watches this year, but right now I'm actually waiting to see what happens next month and beyond before I make any more purchases like that. I want to see what happens. And I'll just kind of flatline it right there. I think you all know what I'm talking about. So
we won't get
the
whole legal thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. And I do have one watch that's under repair that I'm waiting on to get back, but that's not a watch that I've shown on the channel before. For a couple of good reasons, but I'm hoping that'll get back to me pretty soon and be repaired. And that's really. Oh, and I did get in recently, and I put a video up last week. A Dorenzo off of their Kickstarter, but I bought that like 6 months ago, and when it came in, I said, "This is very pretty. This is a gorgeous piece, high quality piece." And you know what? I got no place for it, so I'm trying to sell it.
Really?
I haven't worn it. I haven't even unwrapped it yet. It's
how many watches you up to now?
About 70.
I'm actually down to 8, believe it or not, because I consolidated.
30 of them are Zelos. Go ahead, say it. Say it. You're a sickie.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we call him Mr.Zelos.
Well, I'm going to start selling off a few in the next little while. I'll probably make for sale videos out of it, but the Dorenzo's got to go. Brand new in box, still in its factory plastics. Somebody will take it off my hands.
Oh yeah,
Swiss Diver, really nice watch.
Okay, I'm really not sure. Of course, you know me. I always change my mind. I've really been kind of missing the SOH2, the Breitling I had. So that may be a rebuy. The Super Ocean Heritage 2, the blue one. Because I know I could pick it up even fairly cheap.
Did you get the bracelet for that Rolex yet, or no?
Did you get the what?
The bracelet. I know you had a bracelet incoming for it.
No, not yet. It's still on the way. And then Clive is saying, nice start, Saleen driver.
Okay. Not sure what he means, but okay, thank you. Yeah, I actually bought a bracelet for this. Right now I have it on a Collareb leather strap, but I want to try something with this. I bought a black mesh type bracelet for it. It's a generic straight lug, straight end link, I should say. I'm gonna see what it looks like on a bracelet, just for the hell of it. I mean, if it doesn't look good, I can always slap it back on. Huh?
You looked at Staib, the STAIB.
Yeah, you can't get them.
They're little. Really?
You can't get them in 22 millimeter. I want a Staib. I actually found the listing for Staib on Amazon. They were sold out. I wanted to get a silver one for. I think it was for my Navitimer. I was going to put on my Navitimer. And I sat there. It said out of stock. We don't know when it's going to be in. I waited 2 months for that to get back in stock.
Really?
Long Island Watches sold out of them. Amazon sold out of them. And when I went to look at the Stay Black mesh, same story. Sold out. So
really?
I would love to get one of them. I hear great things about them. You told me some good things about them.
Oh yeah, but, yeah. That's what I've got, the 20 mil.
Get one.
By the way, guys, Urban Country was on Clive's stream earlier. He had a good question that he posed, but he's in college right now. He was saying, if I remember correctly, he's 22, so he's fairly young. He's got like a Vostok, a G-Shock, and one or two other watches, a Seiko maybe. But he's looking at his problem is he watches Archie Luxury a little too much, so he likes the diamond pieces. Of course, he's in he's like in more of a budget. Of course, right now being in college, I recommended him getting a Hamilton to last him through college because it's versatile. You can throw on a whole bunch of different straps, get it on a budget, and then once you graduate, I think he's going for a master's degree, Urban Country, but. Once he gets his master's, then he can celebrate with a higher end piece. So once he starts making a little more money, what do you guys recommend?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with a Hamilton. I have the khaki automatic. I absolutely love it. It's probably, aside from like my sentimental pieces that, like that I got with my dad and stuff like that. That might be my favorite watch. Like. If it had a screw-down crown, it would be perfect. And that's my opinion. And you can't go wrong with a Hamilton. And then the only other advice that I would give for a beginner is just do your research because, and this is like the well I fell into was in the beginning you accumulate a bunch of stuff that. When you look at later on down the line, you're just like, man, I wish I hadn't accumulated a bunch of What
stuff the hell was I thinking?
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. And later on, you find yourself with all these watches that you hardly mm-hmm. wear, and then I don't know. That's my opinion, anyway.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I would recommend getting a Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
My advice for him would be, first of all, stay off Kickstarter.
Yes.
You will go down a rabbit hole, which you will, if you do climb out of, you're going to look back down at that hole and say, I wish I could fill it with concrete. Do not buy fashion watches. That falls under the category of what the hell was I thinking. Stay with the tried and true stuff until you get onto Long Island Watch's YouTube channel and watch every single watch and learn video he has. Every one of them.
Yeah, he does good.
Then
good videos.
Subscribe to my channel and start watching my videos, because I have reviewed a lot of watches and you will get to experience a lot of different variety. And buy a Zelos. Zelos watches are fantastic.
For those of you that don't know, Dane is the operator over there, Saleen driver. Great. He does a lot of content.
Saleen.
Basically, almost every day, every other day. If you guys are into
I try to put about 2 videos a week. I try.
Okay.
But no, in all seriousness,
what Navi do you have?
Oh yeah. Do you want me to go get it? It's right over there.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to show it to us.
Yeah.
It's got the new 1959.
Hang on a minute.
But yeah. So, and you said you don't really have anything else since you bought the Seamaster that you're looking for, George?
No, I don't really have anything. Honestly, the only thing, what has been taking up, or not taking up my time, but kind of getting me through, is I've bought tons of NATOs and other straps lately, and then with the weather turning cold here,
nope.
I've switched a bunch of watches over to leather, like leather bands and stuff like that. Yeah. I tend to use them more in the fall, in the winter.
There's
there's the Navi. Okay,
it's it's an Navitimer Twin 60. It's a 1-year production watch. I picked it up. I'm the second owner. This was one of my Grail watches. This also happens to be my favorite watch right now. Yes, my favorite watch is not a Zelos, believe it or not. But I love this watch. It is fantastic. It wears comfortably. It's accurate as hell. It's one of 3 Breitlings I own, and all 3 Breitlings were all Grail watches. So every Grail watch I set for myself, I managed to get. And nice. Right now it's on a blue Collarab leather strap. I love Collarab straps.
Collarab, to me, they're one of the best, if not the best.
And when you get the package, it smells so good.
Yeah.
You just want to turn that into an air freshener. But so my Navitimer is my favorite watch.
Now, Mackenzie has a question about Aragon. I can't really speak for Aragon because I've never really had the brand in, but I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say, without too many words, being mean towards the brand, and they kind of remind me of Invicta a little bit, where it's not my personal taste. I'm not going to knock it, but it's just I personally wouldn't buy one.
Are they like that? Are they like huge?
Yeah, they're like big. I mean, they're a lot more like colorful. Like I said, they're not bad looking watches. It's just not, just not my personal style. So I wouldn't recommend them, or I don't have any experience. So I'm not gonna.
You see, Aragon is one of those watches that I was talking that answers directly to Urban Country's question. This is a fashion watch. This is not a good brand. I am not one to mince words, as all of you who know me know. I don't mind giving out my opinions. I will talk down a brand. Aragon is not worth your money. If you got $200 to spend on a watch, what I would recommend is get to $300, go to LongIslandWatch.com and buy one of their Islanders, as an example, or buy an Orient. I mean, what are Mako's going for? They're going for under 300.
The new canvas suit, I think you can pick up for like $180, I think.
Yeah. Or buy an SKX. It's a discontinued watch, but it's still out there. And you can buy those on the secondary market all day for under $300 or under $200 in some cases. Buying an Aragon is like buying a Wellington or a Movement or a Filippo Loretti or one of, it's not a good watch. It's not a quality movement. It's something for the punters. It's not something for a collector. So don't do it.
And Clive is saying that at Saleen, they're advertising about you, Dane. He's saying Knight's 806 re-edition is one of his out of his Cold Dead Hands watches. He's got one of the newer 1959 re-editions.
Yeah. The I've always wanted to get a few Breitlings in my collection, and quite honestly, because my father, who is a big watch collector in his own right, one of the brands he really dislikes is Breitling. So, I'm not exactly what I call rebellious son, but the fact that he doesn't like it intrigued me. So I started looking at him, and how can you look at that face and be unhappy? Look at that face. Just look at it. Look at it. It's so pretty.
You can actually get some good deals on Breitling too. Even new from the AD, you can usually get a discount. That's like you can actually go pick them up at the AD as well, which I would suggest getting them at a discount or buying secondhand most of the time.
There's an AD here where I live, Mayer's Jeweler. They're an AD for Breitling. That's not a bad place to go. I don't know. I just found that one by accident online, and I did my research and I authenticated it, and I said, "Oh, score."
Nice. Yeah, like I said, I've been kind of missing my SOH too. And I'm probably gonna end up picking one of those up this year at some point. That might be my next one, my next buy, either used or at a decent discount.
I'll be right back.
Brand new again.
My favorite Breitlings, not my favorite, but like the one that I would get if I were to get one, is probably the Super Ocean. And probably a Colt. Which one's the one that is it looks kind of dressier? Is that the Super Ocean?
Yeah, that's the one I had with the mesh bracelet.
Okay, those are really nice, like on leather, or like a crocodile strap, like that.
Yeah, mine had the mesh.
A little earlier, my buddy Jason, Design Atelier, he asked me to go show him this.
Was that a Bulova?
Okay. Bulova Accutron Space View, 1961. This is the first year of the Accutron.
Nice.
And this one is 14 karat white gold. I picked this up from a guy up in Illinois. His name is Bob Piker. All he does is sell, restore, and service Accutrons. He's got a whole bunch for sale on his website, and he dug this one up for me. He even made me a custom-made one, which I have in the other room. It's a railroad Accutron in a 14-karat yellow gold case from 1962, which they never made that combination. But I said, I'd really like one. He said, I'll build you one. So, but I love this one. I mean, this one is a 34 that wears like a 34. This thing is tiny. But what is this thing? 50, almost 55 years old. It still keeps excellent time. I only have to reset it like once a week, maybe. But he did a video. By the way, Jason, congratulations on hitting 1,000 subs. I knew you'd do it. That is a fantastic. If you guys are not subscribed to Jason's channel, Design Atelier, you're missing some really high quality video work. He just did a video on the new release Space View, which I'd love to get one of those for my collection, but $3,500 is a bit dear right now for me. But maybe in 2021, if the world doesn't come to an end, maybe I'll take a look.
I saw. Speaking of Bulova, just today, as a matter of fact, I think on my Facebook feed, I saw an ad for a Bulova, a Frank Sinatra edition. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I've seen it.
It's actually a really sweet watch. I like it. And then on the box, it's got Frank Sinatra's picture on it, and then it's got in silver lettering it says "My Way," which is awesome to me because I'm not only a big Frank Sinatra guy, but I also my favorite song, my favorite Frank Sinatra song. So actually, my wife and I, our wedding song was "Something Stupid." That's the name of the song, "Something Stupid" by Frank Sinatra.
Nice.
So
no kidding.
So I want. I was looking at that one today. It's I think they have 3 or 4 different colorways. The one that I want the one that I would get is I think it retails for $750. 39 mil. I think it had a white dial with silver hour markers. It looked really sharp, and then it had it just said Sinatra on the dial. It's really cool, and it keeps coming up on my feed, so I think I'm gonna take that as a sign.
Nice. Definitely gonna go for that one. Sorry, I was sending Clive the link. For some reason, I was trying to. I booted somebody in the chat. I won't mention who, but I booted somebody in the chat, and I think I accidentally booted Clive too. So I sent him a link to the StreamYard. There he goes. Let me in.
The high ender.
Hey, sorry, I think I accidentally booted you.
Oh, that's all right. No, not a high ender. Actually, one of my favorite pickups, of late has been. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, perfectly.
Well, actually, one of my favorite pickups has been that Leisure chronograph. It's got a Value 726. So, funky 70s. It's 40 millimeters. Cigarette hands, for freak's sake, and with a manual wind column wheel chronograph movement for a little bit over $1,000. I wouldn't exactly call myself a horological snob. I like a good bargain as much as the next guy.
Not bad.
I like a good bargain watch myself. I'm not playing in the I'm not playing at the same level as some of the other collectors I know. Certainly not the same level as my father, but I did learn a lot from him, though.
Well, you think I went to a little private school on a scholarship in southwestern Pennsylvania, and you had the tall poppy syndrome because you couldn't really big note yourself because the other people that went to school with you. It's just like, one guy was talking about, well, my dad's a famous trial lawyer. My dad's a famous trial lawyer. And the guy next to him was like, my dad's the vice president of U.S. Steel. Shut the fuck up. And I kind of think it's that. I kind of think it's that way with watch collecting because there's someone out there. There's always someone out there with infinitely more resources.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I don't build my collection for anybody but me, really. So.
Well, actually, one of my beginning philosophies was get something to taunt Archie Luxury with, and that's actually served me pretty well, frankly.
Man.
Well, actually, early on, I found out about another Zelos heavyweight out there. Chris, you may know him, Joshua Evil Sizer.
Yep. Yeah, he's in Rob's Patreon group.
Yeah, and the man has a high quality and quantity of watches, but he had the biggest collection of Zelos watches I ever heard of. And I sort of said, you know what, I want to get up there. So start working on that. I think I'm close.
So
nice.
Mr. Zelos, someone that's kind of unfamiliar with the brand, let me just toss you a general question. What's the deal with Zelos watches? All of a sudden you hear about them, they enter the radar once in a while, then all of a sudden everyone's talking about them.
Right. Well, I mean, what do you want to know, more or less? I mean, what direction is the question going? Are they worth? Are you asking? Are they worth it? Why is everyone so hyped about them?
Yeah. Like elevator pitch. You're getting an elevator with another watch collector, and you're tell them in 2 minutes the reason to get a Zelos.
Well, whenever somebody asks me that question, and I get asked that a lot, I say, well, for one thing, I really like the designs of the watches overall. I mean, let's admit it, with a couple of exceptions. Elshin Tang, the owner of the company, is not breaking any new. I mean, he's not shattering the world of watch design. I mean, he's not coming up with anything that hasn't already been done. What he is, except for the Damascus watches, the titanium Damascus, which I'm wearing one right now. That design is unique to Zelos. But he's coming out with designs that are unique on the market. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like the Hammerhead before it came out. I mean, there are a couple of watches now that have similar look to the Hammerhead or the Abyss. The Swordfish has been a very popular line because it doesn't look exactly like anything else on the market. But what I like about Zelos the most is that the customer service is second to none. Elshin is easy to access, I should say. He's very active in the Facebook group that he created. You can get a hold of him easy. All you have to do is post something up and tag him in it, and I guarantee you within the hour he's going to respond to it. He's very accessible. And he listens. I mean, he asks the fan base out there, what do you want to see next? Like just yesterday, he came out with renderings for the 3rd generation Hammerhead. He's going to change it up a little bit, make it a little thinner, a little bit of a design tweak. But he also said in his message, what do you guys want? What would you like to see? What dial face, materials, color combinations? And he's gotten 100 or more suggestions. I threw a few in there, and he says actually one of them is probably going to make it through because he was thinking of doing that already. And so Zelos is a great micro brand. They've rose above the micro brand point where they're not a joke like a lot of micro brands turn into. I mean, one of the punchline of any micro brand joke is Filippo Loretti. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you may. Those of you who don't know who it is, count yourself fortunate.
You're not missing anything out.
I see the
No, you're not missing anything. And if anyone tries to sell you one of them, run. Actually, punch the guy and run. Yeah. But I digress. So,
and I have. Sorry to interrupt, but I have a feeling we're getting a lot of trolls from Archie's camp here.
Also, if you punch the guy in Oklahoma and you get caught, give me a call.
Okay. Well, I'd probably get caught because I can't run anymore because I'm beat up too much. But Zelos, I mean, yes, I've turned into a Zelos fanboy. I've actually owned more than I have now. I've sold a few of them to fund other projects. But I own 30 of them right now. I don't give my loyalty to a brand easily, but I've given it to this brand because I love the designs. I love the quality of the work. And I mean, in terms of movements, they're not breaking new ice here. They're either using NH35s or Valjoux 7750s or Salida SW200s or 206s. Occasionally an ETA movement. So they're not creating new ground on the movement part, but the designs are fresh. They're really, really nice. And in the case of this guy, which I'll get off my wrist here, in the case of this guy,
you want to blow him up?
A titanium swordfish, titanium Damascus. So, I mean, if you're familiar with knives, you know what Damascus is. It's taking metal alloys and folding them and forging them by folding them over and over multiple times, so you get these kind of patterns of lines in the in the metal. And this is a forgery. Forgery. Sorry, forging. I didn't say that. Yes, I did. It's an alloy of Type 2 and Type 5 titanium. It's Damascus forged, and then it's heat treated to about 500 degrees C. And for those of us who take temperature in the real world, that's 930 degrees Fahrenheit. And each one of them is fired by hand, by Elshin, and each one is unique. So even though this is one of 30 that was made, it's really a one of one because none of them look like this. And
that's cool. That actually does look cool.
And the titanium Damascus Zelos watches. He's done them in the Hammerhead. He's done them in the ZX series. He's done them a couple of times in Swordfish. I think there's one other. The Sky Raider. He did a few in the Sky Raider line. And they're very highly sought after. I have a ZX7 Damascus. I have this one. I'd like to get a Hammerhead one someday. Good luck to me. So I realize I'm rambling on here for multiple minutes here, but I hope I've addressed the question that you posed to me. I'd probably beat it to death.
You're not going to see him out in the wild either, unless you go to another watch event. You're not going to see it in the wild either.
What?
Like you're not going to see some wearing one.
No, I'm not going to see another.
Well, another Zelos, really.
And the folding the steel on over and over, isn't that kind of how the Japanese top sword makers used to? Same process for making a good top quality samurai sword, if I remember right.
Yeah, you fold it over and over, and you forge it, and then you keep folding it and folding it, and you end up with hundreds of layers in the case of a samurai sword. But I learned about Damascus technique, of all places, watching that TV show Forged in Fire, which was, kind of a goofy show, but also interesting. But that's where I learned about Damascus technique. But not that I can do it, but I at least know what I'm looking at. And
isn't there a brand named Damascus? I think there's one brand named Damascus, isn't it?
There's a city named
Damasco, I know.
Is that it, Damasco?
Yeah.
Yeah, the German brand.
Okay.
They're comparable with Zen. I would say comparable along the lines of Zen. Actually had that the DS30 in a while back from Bobby Legs. He landed in it. It was a pretty cool watch. The Blue Dial. They use a lot of the same technology that Zen uses, like the U-boat steel and all that, which is pretty cool.
So I hope I gave you something to work with there, Mr. Rancher.
I appreciate that. I'll have to take a good hard. I've been hearing a lot about it, and I want to take a good hard look at it.
And he's got some watches coming out during this quarter that are going to be really nice. Yeah, the Skyraider. I don't know what your feelings are on the pilot watch genre, but he's coming out with a second flight of the watch line called the Skyraider, which is the first flight was a manual wind in either bronze or titanium. And they either came with a meteorite face or a full skeleton using an ETA full. I have one. If you want me to go get it, I can show it to you real quick.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Thanks.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Clive is always looking for different watches, aren't you, Clive? Ones you don't see every day.
Exactly. That's the fun of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are like, why don't you talk about your collection? Well, I know my collection. I've seen my collection. A couple of watches, 2 or 3 times. So, it's more fun to see what everyone else has instead of everyone else's experience.
All right, here we go. Yep. Can you blow me up again, Chris?
Yeah, let me go
that
back
doesn't sound right, but okay. This one is a first generation Skyraider.
Oh, okay.
You can see it's full. It's a bronze case. It's about, if my memory serves me correct, it's about a 40. Well, hang on a minute. It's 42 or 43 millimeter. But a full skeleton. Geez, my camera really isn't going to make my life easier tonight, is it? Full skeleton. Sorry. There we go. Highly decorated, and it's a manual wind. And these things are all sold out. I mean, this watch is long since sold out.
That looks cool.
Look at the jewels.
Oh, wow.
Nice polish work.
Flip it around. I want to see the movement again.
Sorry.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah. So I think those are blued screws. Some of them. Anyway, but it is a pilot's watch at heart. I mean, you can see that if you can see the indices
right
a bit. Focus. There we go. Big oversized crown. And like I said, they came in titanium and bronze. This was actually my father's. He actually bought this on my recommendation. And he's got finger problems owing to his age and medical condition. He finds it hard to wind this particular watch, so he handed it to me one day and he said, you play with it for a while, which is his euphemism for it's yours, but I reserve the right to take it back. He's funny that
John was asking, if you don't mind, John was asking how much the Zelos was, the one you just pulled up.
Which one, the Skyraider or the Damascus?
Yeah,
the Damascus was in this version with the black sand dial was $14.99, and there's a meteorite version for $15.99. I mean, that's easy enough to look up on their website, so I don't mind telling them. I mean, you can always go to zeloswatches.com and find them there, so no problem. Yeah, but a lot of these watches that I have are sold out. When Zelos comes out with a new watch,
Yeah,
he usually gives you plenty of lead time on the Facebook group Zelos Timekeepers. So if you're thinking about buying a Zelos or you already own them, get on his Timekeepers and become a member, because you get an idea of when a watch is going to drop. And believe me, you want to know when it's going to drop, because, for example, he came out with a dress watch recently called the Nova. And it came in about a half dozen colorways, but one of the colorways that sold out literally in 3 minutes was the salmon dial. Salmon dial Nova sold out in its entire production run in 3 minutes. This watch sold out all 30 of them in 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good cult following, I guess you could say. They sell out pretty quick. He knows what he's doing with marketing too.
Zelos. Well, we're all Zelos zombies. But I love them. I do. I know. And I own a lot of other different watches, true. Believe me, guys and gals. I own more than just Zelos watches, but that's the brand I love the best.
Nice. I'll definitely have to check them out. But they have someone's wanting to know. AD never calls. He wants to know, does Zelos have an AD?
Or does Zelos have a what?
They're
authorized distributor.
Authorized dealer.
I think there's one in Fort Lauderdale, but he doesn't really advertise so much. He just puts watches up on eBay, really. But he claims to be an authorized dealer, but pretty much everyone buys Zelos off the website directly.
Okay.
And of course, in the aftermarket, eBay or Watch You Seek or wherever fine watches are sold. Sorry, showing my age there. But yeah, the only real way to get a hold of a Zelos watch is the website.
Okay. Yeah, so I was wondering. I thought maybe that they were mainly online, right? They usually do. They usually do it with like pre-orders, right?
Yeah, I guess technically you could say it's a pre. I mean, let's say when he start over. When he releases a watch, he drops the watch for sale, and he puts it at for the first month it's discounted, and about 2 weeks after he puts it up for sale, the first orders start to ship. It's not really a pre-order in the traditional sense where you pays your money and you wait 3 months or whatever until it ships. I mean, pretty much the watches are assembled for the most part and ready to go when the release date occurs.
Or more like 9 months for my 806.
Pardon?
Or more like 9 months for my 806.
Right.
Is it like what Borealis does is like they'll I guess a pre-order and you pay half.
Yep.
And then I guess when it ships or whatever, then they'll ding you for the other half.
Yeah,
when they send it out.
I just reviewed 2 Borealis watches that were part of a pair of Random Rob watch tours, and the Cascius. I don't know how to. Anyway,
Cascais, I think.
Cascais, yeah. They were all set up that way on the website. They're all sold out, but you paid half then and half at some point, I guess. The only watch that was done like that was sort of Zelos was Zelos did a partnership job with Stitches and Buckles. They did a watch based on the 3rd generation Mako called the Mako Terra, and the watch face was Sodalite. Really unique looking watch. I talked myself into getting one. And basically what you did was you paid about, I think it was more like 2/3 up front and then the remaining third when the watch shipped. or was about to ship, which was fine. Why not spread the cost out?
Exactly. I've spoken with, speaking of Borealis, I've spoken with Carlos, the owner. He's a pretty cool guy. I'm trying to get him to come on a live stream sometime, do an interview with him.
Yeah, I heard he was
getting in between the different time zones, because he's down in Portugal, I believe, is it?
Mm.
I think.
Portugal?
Is it Portugal? Somewhere down there, I think.
It might be. I know, like, a lot of. I don't know if a lot or what the number is, but like I think a couple of his watches have been named after, I think, like, cities in Portugal or something like that. So,
over in Portugal. I meant down either Portugal or Argentina, somewhere.
Well, Argentina is
like the top
America. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I'd love to do
wherever he's from.
I'd love to do a live stream with Elshin, but he's 12 hours ahead of me.
Mm-hmm. Is he in Singapore?
Yeah, Singapore. But he is usually awake when I'm awake.
I think one of the things one of the reasons why I've never gotten into like micro brands is they're just so hard to get. You know what I mean? Like, you go to any micro brand's website and they're everything's out of stock or whatever, and it's I have to go down that rabbit hole to know when they drop and things like that. Because they're just so hard to get. That's one reason why I haven't.
It's no harder than trying to get a Rolex, it seems. Or did I strike a nerve there? I'm sorry. No, but it's a fair point, Jorge. It really is. A lot of micro brands have that problem where they don't make enough supply to meet the demand, and you're stuck.
Yeah. I remember years ago when I first started collecting, whatever, I stumbled upon a YouTube video that was like the best divers, the 300 and under, I think. And it was an old video. I think maybe 5 out of 10 were micro brands, and 5 out of 10 were micro brands, and the other 3, and 3 other ones were Seikos, and all the ones. So I'm watching this video, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool, and I go on all these websites, and a lot, none of them were stock, so it was just like, oh, okay.
That sounds like an urban
atelier saying try Allen Watch, which Allen Watch is a good place too. Like Dane was mentioning earlier, and also John, John over Watch Gauge. He usually has a pretty good handle on the micro brands.
Yeah,
just mainly all true. He sells besides G-Shock.
That's true. Like I'll check out. Boy, I mean, you go down. Island Watch is a great place. Regardless, not even micro brands, just brands.
Or I was going to say, and what's on the wrist is actually he's having his little last few days. He's been having his little online showcase, I guess. Microlux.
Yeah. And Atelier saying, aside from the supply limitation, he had a blast dealing with Mark, which I've emailed with Mark back and forth whenever I bought stuff from there or whatever. He's always been pretty responsive.
Yeah.
So I
got a DeVos watch from actually 0 complaints for the watch or the seller.
Yeah, everyone I bought from him. Yeah.
He really helped me out.
Yeah, I've never had a bad experience with him.
He really helped me out when I wanted a specific marathon watch that nobody seemed to. Everyone would either go, "Oh, I can't get one of those," or they go, "Huh?" And it was the JSAR with the Yemen Israeli Special Forces logos, and the day wheel was in Hebrew as well as English. I really wanted one of those, and I emailed, and he's a marathon dealer, so I took a shot. I emailed him because it wasn't on the website, and I said, "I know it's not on your website, but can you find me a Yemen?" And I think I emailed, I'll wait till Monday, I'll get an answer. And 15 minutes later on a Saturday afternoon, he said, "Hell yeah." Well, he didn't say hell yeah, but he said, "Yeah, I can get one."
Because I think basically, from what I understand, it's him and his wife that really kind of run it, I think, right?
I think so. Anyway, he got back to me on Monday with the price, which was the best price I saw ever. But I promised him I would never mention the price to anyone else, so I can't say the price. But it was a good price, and it took about 2 weeks to get it here, but I got it, and it was brand new in box. It was not a used watch; it was brand new. All the hang tags, all the plastics, and it was. I was just so happy. And then about a month later, I said, "I know I didn't get with the when I ordered the Yemen, but can you get me the bracelet with the Israeli logo on the clasp that goes to this JSAR?" And he said, "No problem. Here's the price. I paid the money, and a week later, it showed up. I haven't put it on yet."
By the way, guys, sorry, we're sorry to interrupt, but we're getting some trolls in here, guys. I'm having to go through and block a whole bunch of people here. I think we're getting some trolls from the RSU camp. If you're going to be stupid in the comments, you're going to be booted, guys. Just a heads up.
I saw them earlier.
We don't do that over here.
Right?
I saw those earlier, but I'm not a moderator on your channel, so I can't kill them off for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to make.
I was going to wait until you're off.
What,
if Blue Shirt Buddha has basically volunteered, he's an excellent mod, and if you want to give him a wrench.
Okay, cool. I'll have to figure out how to do that. Because I tried to add you, or I tried to
click on the little right next to his name on YouTube, not on StreamYard. Right next to his name, you'll see when you hover over to the right, you'll see three dots. Click the dots, and only you can do this, Chris. You click the dots, and one of them, and a menu pops up, and one of the choices says make or moderator or make mod. You make him a mod. I'm a moderator on like 10 different sports trash talk channels, plus Rob's channel. So I know how to kill trolls real good. But I haven't got YouTube pulled up. You see what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah, Mike said he'll help out too, Tennessee Mike. So if you guys want to just comment down the comments, and that way it'll be easier for me to do that.
Yeah, make a comment,
and,
and then he can moderate you.
That just means you're getting more popular. That's all. Once the trolls start,
that's right. I mean,
you know you're making it.
I'm the troll.
The trolls always seem to start showing up when you're at 1,000 subs or more.
See, it's not letting me do that on my end.
Are you on StreamYard or YouTube?
Yeah, I'm on StreamYard, and it's not letting me do it. It's only saying it's.
You have to do it on YouTube.
You can't.
Oh, I had it on YouTube?
Yeah. Open another window on YouTube.
You said I can, or
you cannot.
You cannot do it on StreamYard. It has to be on YouTube. So open another window with YouTube. And pull this video up. You have to mute it, or else you'll get an echo effect, and then you can start giving mods out.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can do that on here or not.
Just mute the YouTube window right after you pull it up.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. If you guys just want to keep the conversation going, I'll.
Okay.
Let me get my.
Hey,
I'm just gonna stop the camera on my end. I'm not gonna leave. I'm just gonna stop the cam.
What's your overall opinion on Breitling?
Oh, okay.
Because I love him, but I always like to hear other people's opinion on him.
I think Bradley has good heritage. I think it watches that are actually really quite iconic, for lack of a better word. It's just that they're cranking out so many freaking variations. It's kind of killing the resale on it. Last year, like 2019, they released literally 76 new editions.
Really? I didn't know that.
Always, yeah. Of course, a lot of them was like, okay, they'll release a watch and they'll release it in 3 sizes with different strap or bracelet combinations. And, do you want it steel? Do you want it two-tone or whatnot? But I think they need to really narrow down their product line and do some soul searching and figure out what people really want or what they really want to sell. Boil it down. Yeah, I think a nice analogy would be like when Steve Jobs came back to Apple. One of the things he did was cut out half the product line, cut out half the products. These are our best ones. These are the most popular ones. These are the ones we're going to focus on, and we're not going to go. We're going to quit screwing around with the Newton. We're going to quit having like 17 different laptops. I think Breitling really needs to do the same. In a lot of ways, they had a couple of missteps in the new leadership of the new ownership, but I think they're making a lot of the right moves. I think the 806 and the 809 are a couple of great watches. I think the Super Ocean Heritage is one of the best watches out, just general all-around watches.
I agree.
Sounds like what Mercedes did with their product line.
Trying to load it. It's still loading.
Okay. I'll talk you through it.
My computer's acting real slow. Yeah, it's still loading on my end. But I agree with that. I feel like Breitling has a lot of great designs.
And I love. I know that Breitling, like they're. I know I'm in the minority. I know this, but like the Navi timer, I like it. But if this makes sense, I like it when other people buy it, because for me personally, like and I know it's because I'm, but the dial's a little too busy for me. But I think it's an awesome watch. I just think it's not, for me. That's why I like that's why for Breitling, like I like the Colt, I like the Super Ocean, the Super Ocean Heritage. Yeah, that's just, but that's just me. I think they're cool watches. It's one of those things where I want to love the Navitimer, but it's just not my taste. But that's just me.
Well, yeah, the Navitimer is busier than a daycare center at snack time.
Right.
I love my Navitimer.
It's awesome watch. I do. I like it.
I would like to get the one I've seen in many places. It's a Breitling, and it has the map of the globe in the middle of it. I think it's a Super Ocean. I have to go find it and find out what it is. But
is it the Galactic?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't matter. That's far off. My next Grail watch is an Omega Speedmaster from the Moon to Mars. That's the next one I want. I love that one. I love the look of that one, and nobody can dissuade me. The trick is trying to find one.
No kidding.
Like I said, I
Did you
Actually,
get
kind of by
did you get
SOH too?
YouTube running
The
yet?
Heritage I had, blue one. No, my computer's acting really slow as usual. So it's not letting me load while the X enter.
Also, why is Jorge drinking and no one's paying him?
I'll be right back.
Chris is lagging pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right.
He might be frozen.
I think so.
Yeah, I think his feed is dying, which is not good because he controls the feed.
Yeah.
So if he has to restart, this whole chat's gonna go, Tango uniform. Whatever.
Roger that. Over.
Is there anything in the comments here? I have to kind of crane my neck to see over this.
Oh,
yep.
And he's gone. No,
Gone.
No, the stream's still open. He'll just log. He can jump back in it. Trust me, I've had some shitty internet too.
Yeah. Any comments in here you can see that are to respond to here?
Well, I think they're talking about the aerospace. There's some sidebar discussions.
I have one of those. I have an aerospace, and I have an first generation emergency that's based on the aerospace. And I love those.
And like I said, Mark just picked up one of the new chronomats with a bullet bracelet.
Although I definitely wouldn't want to accidentally deploy the emergency beacon.
What is that like? Was it $10,000 or something?
I read $25,000.
Wow.
That's the fine. Plus the watch has to go back to Breitling to be rebuilt.
Yeah, and it needs to say, "Are you are you sure?" No, really, are you sure? Yes. Yes.
Actually, when I found that watch, obviously I found it used because they don't make that anymore. I really counted myself very fortunate because I not only found the watch, but the full kit was intact. The case was intact. The videotape instructions was still sealed. The tester still worked. All the manuals were there. I mean, it took me a long time to find that combination. But when I did not hesitate. I pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay, I was able to go on and I made Thomas and Bruce mods. So if you guys hear me on there, I gave you guys
they have wrenches now?
Yeah.
If they have wrenches, they can either time people out or they can hide them. If they time them out, they go away for 5 minutes. If they hide them, they're permanently blocked from the comment section. Okay. So careful. Don't hide someone unless you really mean it.
Which I don't know. I've got I don't think I have 10. I maybe have 5 wrenches. And sometimes I kind of view it as playing online whack-a-mole.
Oh, you should go on to the some of the I mean, one of my other passions is college football. I love college football. I love my Gators, even when they frustrate the bejesus out of me, right? Like this year. So I belong to a lot of college football YouTube channels. It's all about, trash talking and entertaining each other and, all that. And when you're a mod on one of those streams, like I said, I'm a mod on like 10 different of those kind of channels. And yeah, it's whack-a-mole to the nth degree. I mean, sometimes you're on a stream and you're not even listening to what the people are saying on the screen. You're watching the chat and just killing, slaying fools.
Yeah, well, it's hard. You can't, especially if you're the host. It takes a what you almost moderating is almost a full-time job.
Yeah, but on my stream, I mean, I stream once a week regularly, and other times when I can. So, yeah, I've got a few mods too because it's hard to be talking and trying to answer legit comments and trying to, entertain, and yet on the other side, you're looking at the comment section, waiting for the inevitable political comment or homophobic or racist or sexist or just filth comment coming out like we had here today. So it takes the fun away.
Yeah.
And I'm so freaking sick of political discussions.
Well, it'll all go away January, I think. If we're lucky.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. Hey, Chris, if I take my leave, thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Oh,
thank you for being here.
Happy to be there.
We're going in a little over an hour, guys. You guys all ready to call it a night?
Yeah. It's all
I think so. Good talk.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming on. Appreciate all you guys coming on and joining the
talk.
chat.
Thanks for having us, man.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for
thank you for asking me here, Chris. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
And thanks
to all the people in the chat. Thanks for joining in. No problem. I'll see you guys later then.
All right. You guys take it easy.
We'll get up.